Section 395-60C of the Land Division and Development Control Ordinance, like agenda item number 7 tonight. Unfinished business item A related to the orchard. If so, will they have to be approved with a variance for each temporary cul-de-sac? Gene Werby and Mike Polkoff mentioned that over 40 streets in the village currently extend beyond the 800-foot requirement. How many of these streets are intended to connect in the future to a village street, and how many actually have a temporary cul-de-sac currently in place? Will all of these temporary cul-de-sacs be reviewed by Police Chief Wagner and Fire and Rescue Chief Gilbert and Streets and Parks Superintendent John Steinberg Jr.? My main concern is more related to new subdivisions. As an example, an 80 or greater home subdivision by ordinance, section 395-63, lots Item O of the Land Division and Development Control Ordinance requires a minimum of 3 access points for safety, traffic, etc. For reference, item O, the number of lots per access connection. Each residential subdivision or large lot subdivision should generally have roadway access or provide access onto an arterial, collector, or minor street as outlined below. 1 to 20 lots require a minimum of 1 access point. 2, 21 to 80 lots require a minimum of 2 access points. And 3, 81 or more lots require a minimum of 3 access points. According to what was discussed at last week's Plan Commission meeting, the above situation could be in place for 20 years or more. I know that it's unlikely, but just look at how long 32nd Avenue in Prairie Trails West has ended up at that bike trail without a cul-de-sac. And currently, snowplows back up the entire length from the bike trail to 122nd Street, 32nd Avenue intersection. These temporary cul-de-sacs are access and safety issues and shouldn't be allowed to remain for extended periods of time. That's why I asked for the definition of temporary, as I believe it needs to be better defined. Thank you, and again, this was from Mike Renner.
Anyone else wish to speak?
Alex Tianabach, 8757 Lake Drive. Bob's covered, both of our Bobs have covered a fair amount of the ground that I wanted to cover. Last Monday, I, by email, communicated with Mr. Polkoff, asked him about the status of the 1% franchise fee that the previous board had adopted. And I was informed that because of the changes in the local cable service providers legislation issues, that never occurred. And I know I referred to that 1% several times as a source of funding for what I've been proposing all along to do, and I'll be curious to see how that works out in the future. Today, obviously I was aware of the agenda K also, and I asked for Mr. Lott for a copy of the report in advance, just in a similar fashion to what Bob Babcock Jr. suggested. It'd be nice to know what the tone of the report is in order to have citizens' comments make sense. That I was told it was not available, so I'm assuming none of you got it until the end of the day today also. Blank page in your agenda packet, I assume. I also asked what the tone of the report was, and I never got an answer to that. So again, I don't know what the direction of the report is suggesting. I would like confirmation from the board, hopefully not at the end of the meeting, regarding the revenue sources or the cost sources for what we have in Channel 25 today. My latest understanding was that it was 1/3 from the utilities, 1/3 from the Recplex, and 1/3 from the village budget, general operating expenses. I'd like confirmation on that, because right now, if we're not collecting a 1% franchise fee, the citizens of the village are paying for 1/3 of Channel 25. I'd like to hear confirmation on that, because there's been a suggestion that the taxpayers aren't paying for it now. I'd like to hear if in fact they are. I want to commend you for the baby steps of putting audio. It's a step in the right direction. This morning at 10:29, I put Channel 25 on, and village employment opportunities were posted. At 10:31, the YouTube Pleasant Prairie promo video was on. At 10:32, the Kenosha County Board meeting from February 12th was broadcast in its entirety. At 11:28, the Pleasant Prairie promo video was played again. At 10:31, a video about Recplex stretching Romanian deadlifts and all sorts of stuff we showed. And then followed that was snow plowing. I have no objection to any of these things. I think it's good that county board meetings are shown in Pleasant Prairie. But if we have the county board and we have the wakeboard competition, then once again, why don't we have the village board meetings? It was suggested that the meetings are boring. I agree, a lot of them are pretty boring, but I think it's for the citizens to decide. And again, I think a lot of stuff on Channel 25 is good. There was a suggestion that Channel 25 have a studio somewhere now. The contention that I hear over and over again that these meetings are supposed to be live broadcast, I think is totally unfounded. As a matter of fact, if you want to see a live meeting, why not just come here? I mean, you can't watch Channel 25 anywhere else other than in Pleasant Prairie. So it's a maximum of, what, 7 miles to get here? So if somebody wants to see a meeting live, they should just drive here. My point all along is if you pick up the Kenosha News on Tuesday morning and you read a story in there and you think, oh my goodness, I didn't know that was happening at Village Hall last night, I think the citizens deserve the opportunity to say, I'm going to turn the TV on Wednesday night at 7 o'clock and I'm going to watch that meeting. I want to see what happened. Because the minutes don't come out fast enough for a citizen to be able to respond prior to the next meeting if it's an agenda item that lives over the course of a couple of meetings. So I think there's a responsibility. And again, live really doesn't provide that resource at all. It's taped meetings. Taped is simple. I can take a video out of that camera, convert it over to a DVD, and you can take it wherever that insertion point is into Channel 25 and plug it in and play it. I don't think wakeboard competitions will worry too much about being preempted. It's time to do this.
Anyone else wishing to speak on the citizens' comments? Hearing none, I'll close this comments. Anybody wishing to come from the board? Hearing none, move on to item 6, Administrator's Report.
Nothing tonight.
Move on to item 7, Unfinished Business. Do we need to remove anything from the table?
Yes, I request we bring that off the table.
Motion to table.
Second. Motion by Monica, second by
To remove
Steve.
from the table.
Remove from the table. Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? So carried.
President's item is on the table from our last meeting following discussions about issues surrounding construction access through the subdivision and you know, as it evolved from the variance. Right now, the development is somewhat hinged on, is completely hinged on Great Trails development. They're waiting for some FEMA maps, and they've had to request an extension. So it'd be my recommendation we postpone this item, take off the agenda until such time as two developers have had time to get their house in order with respect to their own developments, and provide time for the two to then negotiate the construction access through their various sites, and then at that time bring back the variance. I don't believe that it's necessary that the variance happen at this time. We should allow the developers to run their own process through, so rather than keeping on the agenda for every meeting on the table, I'd recommend we remove it from the table and bring it back when they've addressed the questions that were brought about in the last meeting.
Mr. Chairman, move item 8 from the agenda.
Well, what are they? Motion by Mike, second by Steve. Steve?
No.
Further discussion? No, it's a vague motion. Those in favor? Aye. Opposed? So carried. Brings us to item B under item 7, unfinished business. Motion to remove the bartender license application James Hunt from the table.
And move removal from the table.
Second. Motion by Clyde, second by Steve.
Make a motion to approve the bartender license for